Hello to all you strong and beautiful people out there. Welcome back to the channel. Don't mind my face. I'm actually coming off of doing my very first kickboxing tournament. So trust me when I say this looks a lot worse than it feels. And I'm super stoked to have done it. It was a great experience. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So for those of you that don't know, 75 Hard is a mental toughness challenge made by Andy Frisella, and today I'm going to cover my own personal experience with it, what I went through, as well as I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for succeeding on your own. Okay, so starting off, what exactly is 75 Hard? Because it's not a workout challenge, it's not a nutrition challenge, it's a mental toughness challenge, and I think this is what a lot of people don't understand about it. It's not just about eating better or working out more, it's about the mental changes that happen when you're actually completing this challenge. So obviously fitness is a part of it, nutrition's a part of it, not drinking alcohol is a part of it, and I'll get into the list in a moment. But the bigger change is just having the inconvenience of having to do all these things and the mental changes that happen within your mind during that 75-day period. So this is very popular online, but I'm going to cover the checklist again just so you guys know exactly what you're getting into. So basically you have to do 2 workouts a day, and one of those workouts has to be done outside. So no matter the weather, you're getting outside, you're doing a workout. Number 2 is that you're going to be eating and following a nutrition plan. And this is whatever you choose for yourself. It could be a macro plan, it could be a portion-based plan, doesn't really matter, but you have to follow a diet and you have to stick to it for the entire 75 days. Number 3 is you actually have to drink 4 liters or a gallon of water every single day. So that's one of the boxes you have to check off. Number 4 is you actually have to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book every single day. So this could be self-help, something educational. It just can't be a fictional storybook. Number 5 is you can't drink any alcohol and you can't have any cheat meals. So you have to stick to the diet and you can't drink any alcohol during the 75-day period. And with no alcohol, that also extends to other mind-altering substances. So marijuana, drugs, anything of that nature, you should probably just stay away from because it kind of takes away from the fact that you're doing a mental toughness challenge. And on the subject of alcohol and substances, I've actually listened to his podcast, and he says any mind-altering substance that could, take away from the mental toughness experience should be put away for the 75 days. And the last one, and this is super important, is actually that you have to take progress pictures of yourself every single day. So who is this good for, and why would you choose to do this challenge? Well, I think that really anybody that's looking for a big change or a big shift in their life, this could be a very powerful challenge to do. So maybe if you're looking to increase your self-confidence, feel more self-worth, maybe you just feel like you have so many things in your life going wrong and you want to change that, this challenge can really help to center you and make you a more well-rounded and focused person. And so why I personally partook in this challenge was for a little more self-accountability to actually do the things I wanted to do, as well as for me, there was a big component of losing body fat and getting into better shape, and also just having more focused and intentional time where I was reading and where I was kind of working on myself, because that's something that I would really let slip and wasn't always doing on my own. So this challenge really helped to streamline that for me and started me on a path to better habits. So let's cover my experience of doing 75 Hard. So it should be prefaced that I actually did 75 Hard 3 times and I failed the first 2. So that's something I failed to mention in the beginning, is if you fail at any point to complete any of the tasks throughout the entire 75 days, you have to start again on day 1. You can't just plow through all the 75 days and be like, oh, I did it because I kind of did all the tasks. It's no compromises. So you have to do everything every single day, and you have to complete all the tasks within that 24 hours, or you have to restart. So the first time I did it, I think that I gave up on like day 15 or so. Something had come up, or I drank alcohol. I forget exactly what happened the first time, but I kind of just said, whatever, I'm done with this challenge. I'm not actually gonna see it through to the end. Second time, I definitely took it a little bit more seriously, and it was actually on the progress photos that I failed. So I just literally forgot to take them one morning. And I would say that's pretty common, guys. The ones that people fail on the most, it's not usually the workouts, it's not usually the nutrition, it's honestly like the photos or the water or the reading. I find that those ones are the things that people kind of just like forget to do or let slip. So the third time I did it, I actually did it with a group of other people, my new girlfriend at the time, and we're actually in a long-term relationship now, but we had just started dating recently. And my roommate and another couple of friends, we all decided to do it together as an added layer of accountability. And this was actually the time that I completed it for real. That being said, there was only like 2 of us out of the entire 6 people that started the program that actually finished. And it just goes to show you how tough this challenge actually is. You will go through ebbs and flows of, oh, this feels really good, feels really easy, like I'm doing well, to points where you don't want to do it anymore. It's a roller coaster ride, this challenge, and it's definitely not an easy challenge by any means. You will go through all sort of mixed emotions during the 75 days, but what you get at the end, I definitely think is a valuable mindset shift, and you do learn a lot about yourself during the 75 days. The one thing I did this time as well that made me successful was I actually set reminders and alarms. I had a huge calendar of the 75 hard calendar taped to my wall, so every morning when I woke up I saw it. And the added accountability of obviously having, you know, a new girlfriend, I was like, I'm not gonna let myself fail this time. Like, I have to see this all the way through. And you know, it was really beneficial for me. I ended up sticking to a basic macro plan. So I just was on a fat loss diet, eating a slight calorie deficit for the whole 75 days. I did 2 workouts a day. One was a weight training workout and one was a run or a walk outside. And trust me when I say, guys, you don't have to be an athlete in order to do this challenge. Like, if you just want to do 2 walks a day, that's more than enough. The biggest piece of this challenge is that it's an inconvenience to do 2 workouts of the day, and you have to do them at different times. You can't just do an hour and a half straight. You got to do them at different times of the day, and it's an inconvenience. So that's the piece of it that really is the tough part, because like, you could get home and it could be like 10 p.m. and you're like, I still haven't done my second workout, and you have to go do it, right? And that's the part that kind of teaches you, like, hey, if I really want something, if I really want to do it, I can do it. It just is going to take more of my time. I'm just not going to be able to watch Netflix today. I'm just not going to be able to do these other things. But if you really want to make something happen, you do have the time, you can do it. And it's all about priorities. In terms of the reading, I read stuff that I thought was gonna motivate me through this challenge. So I read David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. I read Tim Grover, Relentless. I read Guns, Germs, and Steel. So I read some history, I read some self-help stuff, and I think that also really helped to fire me up and push me through this challenge. For the water, I just had a large jug of water that I filled up every single morning. It was one of those big 4-liter jugs. And then that way I was able to get all my water in every day. I just knew that I had to finish the bottle. So that was super useful for me as well. So in terms of the hardest part for me of 75 hard is more just the consistency, or the days that your brain is telling you that you should just give up, because there's so many times where you're like, this is stupid. I don't know why I'm still doing this. I could easily just go out and drink with my buddies, or I could just have the burger, or I could have this or have that, because 75 days, it doesn't seem like much, but it's actually a pretty long amount of time. And like I said, you're gonna go through the ebbs and flows. It's a roller coaster ride. You're gonna feel really good sometimes, you're gonna feel like shit sometimes, and you just gotta push through. Having a support group around you was definitely helpful. Setting reminders was definitely helpful. Having visual aids like sticky notes and a big calendar in my room was very, very helpful. I set my background on my phone to, you know, the list of things I needed to do that day. So every time I opened my phone up, I could see, and I knew that was what I was working on. As well as I had a game plan for the workouts I was doing, what I was gonna do outdoors, going into it. And simultaneously with 75 hard, I was also training for a full marathon, because I was like, if I'm gonna be running outside anyways, I may as well just start training for a full marathon. So kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone, if you will. So in terms of full-on results, I got really, really good results. I ended up losing 30 pounds of body fat, so I've gotten really, really good shape. My cardio was really good because I was running all the time. You know, I actually ended up doing like a photo shoot with a professional photographer afterwards because I got into such good shape. So overall, like really, really good results from the program. The only thing I would say that is a negative is that when you come off of 75 hard, re-assimilating into normal life was a bit tough. Like, I would go out to a restaurant, I was like, oh, I don't really want to eat those foods, or I would like do stuff and I was like, oh, I didn't do 2 workouts today. I kind of feel bad about myself because I'm not holding up to that standard anymore. And like, it did mess with my mind a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. So I think there's, like with everything, there's positive and negative aspects to it. It was a good experience overall. It was a tough experience. Obviously, like I think my mental health took a little bit of a hit by the end of it, just with the change from going from that to back to normal. But overall, I mean, if you're looking for something to hold you accountable, you're looking for something hard to do and to prove to yourself that you can do something really, really hard, I think it is a really good challenge to pursue. So my advice coming off of the challenge is, like, when you finish it, is don't beat yourself up too much if you just kind of like stop doing all the things, but you should still try to keep some of the stuff going. Like, still try to work out at least once a day, you know, still follow like a somewhat healthy diet. Like, don't throw away all the pieces that you just put in place, but maybe taper off, right? Like, you don't need to be doing 2 workouts a day, realistically. Most people don't need that. Like, I would never tell my clients that you need to do 2 workouts a day. That's too much. You don't need to be following a calorie restricted diet forever, right? That's not realistic for anybody. You know, you don't need to read every day. I think it's good for your brain, but it's like, once again, it's not a necessity, right? So there's these pieces that you put in place. Maybe you start to taper off of them, but maybe just don't go cold turkey and just cut it all out, because I think that could have a negative aspect on your mental health potentially. So that would be my advice for kind of tapering off the program. And all that being said, guys, this is a very large and all-encompassing challenge, so, and with a lot of nuances. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, like you feel like, oh, you didn't answer this or you didn't answer this, because I'm just trying to convey my experience as best as possible, then please hit me down in the comments. I will answer every single comment with any questions that you guys might have about the challenge, or maybe you've done it, you had your own experience. Let me know about what your experience was down in the comments. I'd love to hear that as well. All right, guys, so just to recap, my biggest advice if you're gonna take on this challenge is A, have a plan, think ahead, make sure you use your alarms in your phone, use sticky notes, use a calendar, things that are gonna remind you to do those tasks throughout the day. Have a support network, like let other people know that you're doing this, or even do it with other people. I feel it can be a really, really big help in actually completing the challenge, because then you're not just doing it on your own. And I think that actually Andy Frisella has done it with other people as well, and it's not against the advice to do it with others. So that's definitely something you can do. The way that I set it up was I did my progress photos first thing in the morning, and I did my reading in the evening before bed, and then just filled up my water jug in the morning as well. So then throughout the day, I was just drinking that, and then I had my workouts scheduled, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, into my calendar. Once again, planning ahead, guys, that's gonna be the biggest thing for this. If you don't plan ahead, you're gonna be stuck at 11 p.m. doing a walk or a run outside, which is gonna make it even harder. But once again, that's part of the experience, right? Like, there's gonna be days like that, like on a Saturday, where you're like, oh, I don't wanna do this, but you gotta do it anyways, right? Other than that, remember, it is a mental toughness challenge. It's not a physical challenge, it's not a diet challenge. It's about your mind, right? So keeping that in mind, dive into it, let yourself really get enveloped in the experience, and I'm interested to see how you guys do with it. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope it was informative. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.